everyone, welcome. My name is Lynn, and today I am crafting with one of the newest releases from Pixi Designs. I really love this die set because it makes creating side stepper cards super easy. I did do a video on this for Pixi Designs, and you can find that video on the Pixi Designs YouTube channel. What I wanted to show in today's video, though, is that with the dies in this set, you don't necessarily have to create a stepper card if you don't want. And just like I mentioned in my stepper card construction video, you don't have to use the house portions for that, because the base die is just your standard side stepper, so really very versatile. And so here I'm going to do the opposite of what I did in the Pixi Dust Design video, where I'm going to just use the house and not use the stepper at all. And so what I've got is just a piece of cardstock here, and what I did was I scored every 1/4 of an inch. And then I took my ball stylus and I scored every 1/2 inch so that I have a slightly deeper score line. And so that just gives sort of this siding slash maybe a little bit of that shiplap kind of effect or look. So it's a way to add a little bit of texture to the front of your house, especially if you don't have something like an embossing folder or stencil or a die that would give you that look. So if you have a scored board, it's a really easy way to just score some straight lines going all the way across. The other components of the house include a front door with a window at the very top, that sort of semicircular window, as well as a rectangular window. So I wanted to also ground my house a little bit so that it does feel a little bit part of a scene. So I'm just inking up a little bit of a sky background. I'm not inking the whole panel because the house is actually going to take up most of it. And so I just want to get ink where it's really going to be visible. And this can be maybe a congrats card for somebody who has just moved or bought a new house. So I thought it would be kind of fun to just make your own house. And this portion here, I was using just a piece of scrap, so it just happened, or I trimmed it down so that it's the same width as the top of the roof. But in terms of the height, you can kind of make it as tall as you'd like, just depending on whether you want a maybe a more Rambler style house or a more townhouse look where there's like levels. So totally up to you how tall you want to make your house. What I did with the door is the door does have a little debossed circle for where the doorknob is. The die natively puts that doorknob on the left. So if you want to put it on the right, all I did was I just cut off that top semicircle of the door die cut, and then I rotated the door 180 degrees, and that puts that debossed line or that debossed circle where the doorknob would be. It puts that on the right. So feel free to, customize these things for, however you want them to look. I've got, I'm using this grass die, and one thing that I realized when I assembled the other house was that I had grass growing going right across the front door. And so I realized after I finished that card that it would be really hard to open that door with all of that grass growing right in front of it. So I've since learned and have modified this a little bit to leave a gap in the grass where our front door is. To attach the roof, I'm just going to put a little bit of low profile foam behind here, and that is so that there's a little bit of dimension, but it's not super thick. This is only 1 millimeter thick foam, and I think it's just enough to give a little bit of dimension and shadow, but it won't trigger any extra shipping charges because it's not going to make your card super thick. Then I'll go ahead, and this is just a small little simple sentiment. Congrats. Like I said, this could be maybe a new home card, and I'm gonna do that same trick as I did before, where in these window pane areas, I am going to fill them with glossy diamond glaze, actually, which is sort of similar to glossy accents. And that's going to really make this look shiny and reflective as if it was glass. And when this dries, I'll also go in with a white gel pen and just add some of those white streak marks that make it really look like the sun is shining on it, and you get those really bright kind of streaks. So really fun little extra details like that, I think help to kind of sell the scene and just give it a little bit of extra detail and dimension as well. And I will also use some Nuvo drops to actually create a doorknob. So it's convenient that the die puts in that deboss circle so that you kind of know where to put your doorknob, and how large to make it so that it scale wise makes sense with the door. So I'm just making a little Nuvo drop the same size as what the original deboss line suggests. And the die itself does come with flowers, so you could continue to kind of decorate this scene, but I did want to keep this nice and simple. And so there you can see those white streak marks. You can see that sort of shiplap or siding scored lines. And so that's a way to use this die without actually creating a stepper card. I'll leave links to everything in the description box below, and I'll also leave a link to the video that I did for Pixi Dust Designs in case you actually want to see how to assemble the stepper. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.